Hey guys, it's gonna be a bit of different video, since for those of you who don't know, you've probably checked by looking at some of my old gaming videos. I'm a very big Whovian, Doctor Who fan. You know, that British TV series. I know I'm American, but I love Doctor Who. It's actually my favorite show. But, since it is the 23rd of August, it is the season premiere of Doctor Who season 8. Yeah, season 8. So season premiere of season 8. And ho 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 ho, Peter Capaldi, big thing. Peter Capaldi taking over this Doctor. I'm not hating on Peter Capaldi in general. Like, at first, when I first heard that they're gonna put Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, this is before I even like fully went back and watched as much classic series as I could. I generally thought it was a bad idea. I went, and that was because that was a few months ago, whatever. And so I went and I watched classic series, of course, and I realized, hey, this could be a good idea if they play their cards right. They make it a dark series. Like, they put this into a dark era, not a jokingly, oh, I'm a kid, I'm gonna flirt with this hot companion. Like, not that. Like, they could put it in a mature, dark era for a while. And so I was actually kind of excited to watch this tonight. And, of course, I didn't watch it a long time. That's why it's probably, like, midnight before this post, because it's, like, 11:30 currently, because there was a game on Dallas Cowboys preseason game 3, so I had to watch that first. But so I started watching it with my dad, and right off the bat, by the way, spoilers. Just if you haven't watched the episode, don't watch this video. Right off the bat, I hated it. It was horrible. Like, within the first 2 minutes, I guess it seemed. So I'm just gonna say, I don't think they should have gone Victorian for the first bit. Like, yeah, Vastra, Strax, Ginny, whatever there. But I don't know that that was a good idea. Like, they had all their different stuff. I feel like if they could have turned it a bit. Like, and I get though, because Victorian, it sets the stage for dark. So right off the bat, they set the stage for it being dark. So they set it up, and dinosaur, and instantly, automatically knew. Me and my dad. Like, my dad's not even that big of a Doctor Who fan, but me and my dad instantly knew TARDIS was in the dinosaur's throat. But whatever, that pops out, and like, don't get me wrong, I know that regeneration episodes are known to be wacky. They're known to be weird. Like, they all can't be the 11th hour. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't generally like Matt Smith's era, but I thought that regeneration episode was the best so far. Just because, like, he came off as a, like, bad butt instantly. So, uh, yeah, but, like, I get that they're supposed to be wacky, but, and I get that the Doctor's supposed to be a bit insane, but the thing is, the forgetting of the faces got to me. And it was like, okay, so I have one thing, of course the Doctor, I guess he forgets companions at times and stuff, but I think they overplayed it. They overshot it. Now, of course, they're having to pull in, because Peter Capaldi, he was in Fires of Pompeii, and then he was in Torchwood as Prime Minister, that crazy son of a, yeah. So, like, I get that they're having to play off certain things, and they're going to have to add some new things to it, but the forgetting of faces and having to recognize, it's just, that's too much. Okay, so, but getting into the episode, so after we forgot the faces, they moved on. I'm trying to think. What was it? They moved on, and of course, you just scoot down the storyline a bit. Like, they get into the house, whatever. There's kind of a part where you just generally could skip and still know what's going on. Which I guess that's with almost every episode. But really, this hour and 45-minute special, they're going to throw it like a 30-minute segment that's kind of crap right in there. And, like, I'm not trying to hate on it. Like, I love Doctor Who, but it's just, they threw in an unnecessary segment. They threw in, like, a Sherlock twist. Like, this is where it's like, I guess because Moffat, like, he's being all high and mighty. He's like, oh, I run this new series called Sherlock. Well, not new series, but I run this series called Sherlock. I'm gonna throw in all these stupid little freaking, like, references to it, I guess, and, like, make it... Because, like, of course, he's throwing in references to Sherlock Holmes. In that episode, he was throwing references to Sherlock Holmes. Like, but still, he's just he's being a bit too cocky with it. So it's like, Vasher saying, oh, the game's afoot. But there's too many Sherlock Holmes references. And so that segment, though, right there, just could have gotten thrown out. And then, for a while, they got into the restaurant, whatever. I was so confused. Like, for me, Victorian era is very hard to keep up with. Because, like, it's just a bad setter. Because for me, at least, I pay attention to, like, what the characters are wearing, how they look, their surroundings more, compared to when they're in a present or more of a future. Because, like, in a future, you just kind of assume stuff. And then with, like, a Victorian era, you have to, like, think of what you know about Victorian era to see if it's, like, right. And so you have to, like, see if they got their crap right. Like, come on, get your crap together. But no, I think they got it all right from what I can tell. But so you're trying to pay attention to that. Then you're trying to pay attention to the plot. And the plot that you pay attention to immediately is a junk plot at first. Like, just crap. So you throw that out. Then you get to the restaurant, and it's a bit weird. They're talking, the doctor's going on his crazy regeneration high. That's what I'll call it, regeneration high. They get down there, and I gotta say, it took me longer than I'm willing to really admit, almost, to realize exactly what was going on. Like, I was thinking of it before, because of the storyline. Like, I couldn't think of exactly what they're doing, because they're clearly throwing references out of the water at something. And it just took me too long until finally it said when Doctor and what's his face are off in the escape pod, and he's like saying Madame de Pompadour, and it hit me. Like, I was like, why did I not get this earlier? Using humans to repair their ship, So it directs back to the Girl in the Fireplace episode back in season 2. And of course, I think Stephen Moffat wrote it. So that was a cool little tying over a bit. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. Then they pushed him out, and whoa, the doctor pushes that thing out. But he said this something. It's like, because he had said, because that weird machine thing's like, droid, it's like, oh, I'm not made to self-destruct, and doctor's like, well, I'm not, it's not hardwired for me to kill people. And then right at the end, he's like, clearly you can tell which one of us is lying. And then the droid gets pushed off. So clearly, as he was saying, like, whoa, boom, classic series. That's all I can say, classic series. Like, they thrown in that. And, the thing that redeemed this episode was that part at the end, I gotta say. Was not that part, but of course that was a good part. But the thing that really redeemed the episode was when they're about to drop Claire off. Claire jumps out and her phone's ringing. It's like, and the doctor goes, maybe it's your boyfriend. It's like, you should answer that. It's probably your boyfriend. And she's like, oh, because they already had a talk. It's like, the doctor's like, hey, I'm not your boyfriend, stuff like that, because he wanted to be serious, because, it's the, 12th, 13th Doctor, one of those things, numbers get messed up. He's older, he wants to be more serious, and so he's like, I've done things, he wants to fix things, and so he's just like, maybe it's your boyfriend, and, like, she steps outside, she answers it, and the second I heard, like, don't get me wrong, when I first started watching the series, Doctor Who, I started off watching the 11th Doctor. I watched that full thing, then I went back, and I loved the 11th Doctor for a while, and then I kind of hated him, and I'm on the fence now. But the second I heard that voice, I instantly knew that was Matt Smith. I was like, ho, ho, ho. And I have to admit, when they were talking, I had the fanboy tears in my eyes going down. I was genuinely happy and sad and like I loved it because they put closure, and they made it where that Claire will stay on for a season, and then they're going to throw her off, of course, because she won't survive. There's just no way. But that's differently. But like they put closure to the 12th, whatever you want to call him. I want to call him the 11th Doctor. Put a closure to the 11th Doctor. They put closure to Matt Smith and with Clara. And so I thought that was cool. And also they put it where she'd go off with Capaldi. Why did I just use his name? But the thing at the end, it's like, oh, you're in heaven and I'm the girlfriend, Missy's like, what the was up with that? Not exactly sure, but I don't think it was a safe idea for Doctor Who to throw in, even if like, because of course they're joking, but I don't think it was safe for Doctor Who with being such a show that's doesn't get under criticism that often, like other than their Doctor choices, like other big criticism. I don't think heaven was a good idea to even say generally, because like they've pointed to it before, but and they're like, oh, it doesn't exist, yada yada. But the thing is, there's going to be two crowds that are going to sitting there striking at it, like non-religious whatever. They're going to sit there and strike at that because it's like, oh, heaven, whoa, no, it doesn't exist. And then religious people are like, oh, heaven, no, that's not the right one. That's not right. That is not right. So they just kind of shot themselves for that. But generally, I'm just going to say with this episode, they could have done better. They should have done better. And when they say really the redeeming part was Matt Smith going into it to end off that. And with the series to come, they generally, it doesn't look dark. It just looks stupid. Oh yeah, cheesy jokes. What happened to the point of where they're supposed to be getting serious? Because I heard Steve Moffat, he was saying, he's like, oh, this is going to be a darker, serious area. The crappy jokes. The crappy, like, fake hit with the newspaper. Like, bad acting. They don't know what they're doing anymore. They lost it. They've lost it. They've lost it. They've got a perfect actor for the role of the Doctor. But they're his side characters, though. They've lost it with them. Like, look at those side characters. Like, those actors in general, like, they need to be much better for the roles to play along Peter freaking Capaldi, for crying out loud. Like, they've got an amazing actor in that role, but they don't have the right people. So, yeah, this is just me been talking about this episode. And I will probably keep updating weekly now, because this is going to be an eventful season, and I can tell it's just going down the drain. So, yeah, bye Moffat. Bye at the end of the season, because you're totally getting out of that writer's room. But yeah, so thanks for watching. I'll probably have some video this week about something else on my just for this channel generally. Because probably planning on posting more to just this channel mainly, and it'll be weird stuff. So yeah, thanks.